Hello and welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Farrah and I have been teaching yoga and wellness practices now for over 20 years. And today I invite you to join me as I break down a somatic slow flow sequence that I have designed to help relieve tension in the low back, to help improve our posture, to strengthen our core, to support good digestion, to support our immune system, our circulation, and finally to help us find that inner calm, helping us to relax our nervous system. This is a sequence of compound movements or yoga asanas that can be practiced purely on their own, especially if you're having any acute discomfort or just have a small amount of time to get on your mat, or you can add this into a longer practice. Let's go ahead and get started. So the only prop that you might choose to use is a thinly folded blanket or towel. This is just to provide some support and padding underneath the head. So if you're using that blanket or towel, go ahead and just fold it up nice and thin and have it towards the back of your mat, and let's meet on our back. So meeting here on our back, and if you haven't warmed up already, you might just take a couple of breaths to maybe hug your knees in towards the chest. Maybe you rock a little bit from side to side. Maybe you take a few knee circles tracing around the base of your spine. So just beginning to guide your awareness inside, letting that outside world begin to fade away. And if you're circling the knees, maybe now switch the direction. And then eventually we're going to meet here in our starting position. So we're keeping our knees bent. Feet are now on the floor. And we're going to tuck the heels back towards the pelvis to align our ankles underneath the knees. So I invite you to just take a moment to notice where your heels are, where do they feel in space, so that we can keep coming back to this position once we invite in our movement. And then arms are down along the side, shoulders away from the ears. And let's relax the face. And just take a couple of mindful breaths here. Maybe closing the eyes, noticing how it feels to breathe in. Noticing how it feels to breathe out. Noticing the support of the floor underneath your body. Allowing yourself to ground. And the first time we move through this sequence, I'm going to break it down nice and slow and explain what we're doing. And then we'll move together one breath per movement. So this is our starting position here. We're going to inhale here together. And then as we exhale, we're going to hug the knees in towards the chest. So for some of you, it might feel better to guide one knee at a time in towards the chest. And then just be mindful that you switch it up a little bit with whatever side starts first. Or both knees might come in towards the chest simultaneously. Now, in order to lift the knees, we want to activate the deep lower core muscles. So we do this by finding a little contraction here in the lower abdomen. Hug the navel down in towards the spine. You might even think about this like pulling your internal organs towards the back side of the body. So we activate the lower belly, lift the knees in towards the chest, hands come to the knees. So here, we're stretching out the lower spine. We're also compressing on the internal organs and abdominal muscles. So this is good for our digestion, our circulation. And then the next time we breathe in, now we're going to lift the forehead up towards the knees any amount. We want to be really mindful here. So really tune in and listen to your body. Notice what feels good for you. So it could be that you only lift your head just an inch. It could be a bigger movement. You might crunch in a little bit more. Let's always leave just a little space between the chin and the chest. And if this isn't right for your neck at all to lift the head, then maybe you just stay here in stillness for the head lift and lower, just staying here with the knees hugging in towards the chest. So what's most important is that you tailor this sequence to you. All of our bodies are uniquely different, so really allow yourself to listen as your body speaks to you through sensation, and remind yourself that every time you arrive onto your mat, it's a whole new practice. We always want to meet our body where it's at. That is our somatic practice. So we inhale, we're lifting the forehead up towards the knees, any amount, keeping that space between chin and chest, and then we exhale slowly and lower the back of the head down. On the inhale, now we're going to let the feet drop back down and the arms come back down along the side. So I've been really mindful here of guiding my ankles back underneath the knees. My legs came back to hip width apart. My shoulders are away from my ears and reaching down along my side. We're going to pause here on the exhale. And then on the inhale, once again, we're going to activate that lower belly. So hug the navel down in towards the spine. And now we're going to lift our hips up into bridge pose. So you're going to lift your hips up any amount. What feels good to you today? Never forcing, never straining. So here we're stretching out the front of the pelvis, stretching out our hip flexors, counterbalancing all of the sitting that we do on a daily basis. We're strengthening the back of the core. And my shoulders are relaxed here. My neck is soft. My jaw is unclenched. I'm really focusing on this midsection of my body. Lower belly is still activated, whether we're lifting or lowering. So now on the exhale, we're going to slowly lower down, one vertebrae at a time. By slowing down the movement, we're inviting in more strength and more mindfulness. So once your hips come all the way down, now soften into the belly. Relax the low back. And then inhale, reach both arms up and overhead, back behind you any amount. So my arms are staying shoulder width apart. I'm gently reaching out through all 10 fingertips to create some space and length in my body, opening the abdomen and getting into those upper attachments of the deep hip flexor muscles. And then exhale slowly, just paying attention to all the details. How does it feel to move today? No judgment, no preference, just observing. Arms come all the way down. And then we're going to pause on the inhale. So that is our whole sequence. So you can always rewind the video and go through that breakdown again, but now I'm going to invite us to take this sequence 4 times together, moving 1 breath per movement. So knees are knees are over the ankles, arms are along the side. We're in our starting position. Let's inhale together. Exhale, activate the lower belly, hug the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Inhale, lift the forehead up towards the knees, any amount. And then exhale, slowly lower down. Inhale, drop the feet, keep the ankles underneath the knees, arms down. And then pause for that exhale. And now inhale again, activate the lower belly, bridge pose, hips lift, any amount. Exhale with control, slowly lower down, 1 vertebrae at a time. Once the hips are grounded, then soften into the belly. Inhale, reach both arms up and overhead, reach back behind you, create space, create length. And then exhale, slowly bring the arms down along your side. So pause for the inhale. Exhale, activate lower belly, hug the knees in towards the chest. Inhale, forehead lifts, gentle crunch. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, drop the feet, arms along the side. Pause for the exhale. Inhale, bridge pose. Activate that lower belly. Keep it activated even while you lower down. Exhale, slowly, 1 vertebrae at a time. Bringing the bones of the hips all the way down. Then soften into the belly. Inhale, both arms reach up and overhead. Any amount, whatever feels good today. Exhale, slowly bring the arms down along the side. Paying attention, present moment awareness. Pausing for that inhale. And exhale, hug the knees in towards the chest. Inhale, forehead lifts any amount. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, drop the feet, arms down along the side. Pause for the exhale. Inhale, bridge pose, hips lift, knees stay right over the ankles. Exhale, slowly lower. Soften into the belly. Inhale, arms flow up and back. Reach out through the fingers. Exhale, arms down along the side. One last time with me, pausing here on the inhale. Exhale, hug the knees in towards the chest. Inhale, forehead lifts any amount. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, drop the feet, arms along the side, ankles underneath the knees. Inhale, activate the lower belly, bridge pose, hips lift. Exhale, slowly lower. Soften into the belly. Inhale, both arms reach up and overhead. Beautiful. And then exhale, arms down along your side. Let's just take a brief moment of pause. Maybe heel-toeing your feet out a little wider and then guiding your knees in together into the constructive rest position. So important that our knees are actually touching here. This helps the muscles of the legs literally relax because the legs are supporting each other up. Knees together provides a nice little opening here between where the spine meets down into the pelvis, opening up our SI joints. This position also provides deep relaxation for those psoas muscles, those deep hip flexor muscles. So calming to the nervous system and releasing tension. So good for our posture and our alignment. So just taking a couple of breaths here to observe how you feel. No right or wrong way to feel, just paying attention, listening with compassion. And then feeling free to stay here as long as you might like. And whenever you are ready to ease out, separate the knees, heel-toe the feet inward a little bit. Let's roll over onto one side. Take your time and press yourself up. So thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. So every week I offer an online donation-based somatic slow flow practice that always invites you to tailor your practice to your individual needs for that day. And you can show up live. It's also recorded. Everyone registered will receive the recording and be able to practice as many times as you want for that week. And again, it's donation based. So it's a great way to easily and affordably check me out. So I hope to see you on the mat sometime soon. I'm going to place a link for the information for that class down below. And it always is so helpful. If you liked this video, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to my channel to keep receiving more tips to relax your mind and body. And I'd love to hear from you. Please comment down below how this practice felt for you. Let me know if you have any questions. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much. Take care.